Welcome back to the physical properties of minerals. This is the fifth video I am shooting for the physical properties of minerals. Already we have 4 videos. First, general video on physical properties of minerals, followed by color and form. Third one was about luster and streak. Fourth one was about fracture and cleavage. This is the fifth one, wherein we will be discussing about hardness and specific gravity of minerals. Hardness is a property of minerals which can be defined as resistance to indentation or resistance to abrasion. That is, by force how much dent you can create on the surface of a mineral, that is indentation, or what is the relative resistance to abrasion, that is abrasion index. The indentation index is an absolute index which we can measure by using an instrument which has a microscope and measurement device of indentation depth, and there we calculate Vickers hardness, that is called as Vickers hardness, that is absolute hardness. But because here we are into physical properties of minerals, we don't have to use any instrument as such. We have to see with a very simple device how can we measure the hardness. Here we will be discussing hardness in terms of resistance to abrasion. Now for this there is a scale given by Mohs known as Mohs hardness scale. Mohs is spelled as M-O-H. Mohs hardness scale, that is a relative hardness scale which starts from 1, ends at 10. We have the most common rock forming minerals which are listed in this list. Talc has hardness 1, gypsum 2, calcite 3, fluorite 4, apatite 5, orthoclase 6, quartz 7, topaz 8, corundum 9 and diamond 10. For that we have hardness boxes. You see the minerals which I have just told you about. For that we have a box which is called as Mohs hardness box. So we may have different kinds of Mohs hardness box in which we will have 9 minerals: talc, gypsum, calcite, fluorite, apatite, orthoclase, quartz, topaz and corundum. Diamond is missing. You can understand what is the obvious reason of diamond which is missing in this list. For this we have a sophisticated one, another box which we have. You can see this is a box in which we have different needles of different hardness which we can use to work out the hardness. Each needle has got 2 sides. On 2 sides we have different hardness value. One has 0 and 1, another has 2 and 3, then there is a 4 and 5, 6 and 7, 8 and 9. Diamond is missing here also. Apart from this, we also have an iron piece, we also have a copper piece, we also have a glass piece, we also have a corundum piece, and we also have a piece of porcelain to work out the hardness. They have the values in between, that is 5.5, 3.5, 9.5, 8.5 and 6.5, and this is 2.5. We can use our nails also for working out hardness. Our nails have hardness of 2.5. So these are the other ways for knowing the hardness of any mineral. How we calculate the hardness? What we do, we take a mineral and then we try to scratch it with some mineral. If you can see, I am scratching with the gypsum which has hardness 2, and if you can see, you have a scratch here. This is actually talc. Talc has got hardness 1. That's why the 2 is able to make the scratch over it. Now all the minerals more than this hardness will be able to have scratch. So how we work out the hardness? What we do, we take a mineral. I don't know hardness of this mineral. I will try to scratch with each and every mineral. For example, here I am getting white line. If I am rubbing it and there is no scratch left, that means this mineral is hard, this is softer. So this was 1. Now I am going for 3. See here, I am scratching with 3. The white color is not coming here. That means the 2 minerals have got, this mineral has got hardness less than 3, because it is leaving its color on this mineral 3 hardness, that is calcite. So this mineral must be having hardness in between 2 or 3. We call it 2.5. We can take it to be 2.5. Now for example, here I have got a mineral which is beryl. I am starting with mineral 4, that is fluorite. I am trying to scratch it. Yes, I have got a line here, but if I am rubbing it, the line is vanishing. That means this mineral is softer, this mineral is harder. I will go on scratching this mineral with other hardened minerals till I am able to make a permanent scratch here. 5 is also not making a scratch. 6, I am trying with 6. 6 is also not making a scratch, it is leaving its own color. Then I am going for 7. 7 is also not able to make permanent scratch, so it must be harder than 7. Now I have reached 8. You can see the scratch I am trying to make. It is also not able to leave any permanent mark, so this means this is harder than 8 also. Now finally I have got the 9, which is the last mineral with me, and I am making this scratch. You can see this is leaving a scratch. That means this mineral has a hardness slightly less than 9. But the fact is that both minerals are same. This is beryl, this is corundum. Slightly they have same composition. There is a little difference of presence of beryllium here, and this is pure aluminium, but the hardness I can say it is 8.5. So in this way we work out the hardness of minerals just by rubbing from each mineral of known hardness. Now whenever we take a sample, I try to scratch it with my nails. So if I am not able to make a scratch by my nail, that means it should be harder than 2. Then I will try to get a strike line over the streak plate. If I am not getting a streak on this streak plate, that means it is harder than 5.5. So we can have a indirect idea just by taking sample in my hand that what will be the approximate hardness. Then we will start. We will not always start with 1. We can start from 4, we can start from 6, depending upon having a little bit idea of hardness of this sample when we take it into our hand. So that is how we calculate hardness. This is relative hardness. 1 to 10, talc, gypsum, calcite, fluorite, apatite, orthoclase, quartz, topaz and corundum. If you see the values of the same minerals on Vickers scale, then talc has 47, gypsum has 60, calcite has 105, fluorite has 200, apatite has 659 of hardness, orthoclase 714, quartz 1100 to 1200, then corundum 2000 and diamond 10,000. So this is increasing with different ratios and with different proportions. Now in Mohs hardness scale, if there is a mineral which is having hardness 4, this does not mean that it is twice harder than the mineral gypsum which has got hardness 2, or it is having hardness half of topaz. No, there may be lot of difference. It is simply a relative hardness scale which we are calling Mohs hardness scale. So this much about the hardness of the mineral. Then we have got a specific gravity of the mineral. Specific gravity is defined as ratio of weight of water of equal volume. That is called specific gravity. So for example, we have a weight, some weight of this mineral. I will take the water of the same amount. I will take the weight of water of same volume and I will weigh that. Whatever weight I get, I will divide the weight of this mineral by this weight, and what number we get, that is the specific gravity. For this we have two instruments, Walker steel yard and Joly's balance. These are the two instruments, Joly's balance and Walker steel yard. Because we are not using instrument here, we will try to work out specific gravity as a relative specific gravity, because I have two minerals, this is heavier, this is lighter in a relative sense. So this is high specific gravity, this is medium specific gravity. This mineral is still lighter, so this may have a low specific gravity. So we will be having this mineral which is having very, very low specific gravity. So we can have relative values of specific gravity. The highest specific gravity of a mineral which is available with me is galena, which has got a specific gravity of 6.5. Quartz has got a specific gravity of 2.6. Calcite has a specific gravity of 2.8. And then lastly, I will show you a mineral barite, which is having a specific gravity around 3 plus. So this is a specific gravity of minerals. That's all in the 5th edition of this video.